And hey, what's going on, y'all? Y'all already know what it is. It's your favorite blurred click, ready to talk blurred shit. And today we are joined by some of our favorite individuals. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. If you're looking at the screen, you already know. Not only do we have the one and only Carl Jones of fame, the animation type, going back to Boondocks, we talking about all kind of stuff. I don't even sit there and go down the whole list, Thug Nipson, and you know who he is. And also the counterpart, Love Jones, the brains behind Martian Blueberry as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it right now. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, my friend, and don't trip now. It's not just me, but your girl Zayna in the building as well. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it up. It's the new Blurred On. Let's go ahead and crank it up. You know what it is. Well, Thug Nipson, tell us who it is.
This is Thug Nipson telling everybody to tune in to New Blurred Order, my nigga. The best podcast on the planet Earth, nigga.
It's funny because I'm looking at Carl and I know the look on his face is, when the hell did I do that shit? How the hell did the AI my voice onto that bullshit? No, homeboy, you looked out, man. What's going on, y'all? How's it going? It's good to see y'all again. Everything good?
Yes,
Yeah,
everything's
good.
Great. Yeah.
Everything's Thug Nipson, nigga.
I'm glad to hear it. All right, well, listen, I'm going to kick this right off by saying, I'm not going to lie. If you are a human being that has a screen, then you've seen you guys on the screens as of late because you got a lot of projects going on. I mean, there's so many. Obviously, there's the Meg one, and we can talk about that a little later. But I want to start by going into your pursuit of additional talent, which seems to be of high priority as of late. Let's go directly into your pursuit of voice actors. So now it feels like you're in the position to choose from a plethora of different submissions that have been sent to you guys. What are all of the voice actors that you're looking for? What are you looking for? And is there a specific project, or are you just looking to stockpile a bunch of really good voice actors? Carl, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of all of that. We do have a few specific projects in the works that we're looking for. We're looking to cast people for, and we also need a Rolodex of talent. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you're familiar, but in the voiceover game, there's like a handful of people that do all the work. you know what I mean? It's
right.
It's one of those industries where people get into it and they never really leave because it's kind of a laid back job. You could do it in your pajamas and you can actually potentially record from home if you need to. So it's a pretty difficult industry to get into, and we also in the adult animation space, I find it. I don't know. I think it's worth trying to find new talent just because, we're not always looking for what maybe some of the traditional kids and family networks and studios might be looking for. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Like on the Boondocks, for example, a lot of actors that we use were either first time actors, we use rappers, we use people that just really, could bring like an authentic personality and just part of their own character to the table versus somebody who can I guess like mimic a lot of voices or do a bunch of different voices. Like we just look for authenticity, I think, more so than anything. Range is important too, but I just think like with adult animation, a lot of times, we don't have, like a lot of real big cartoony, crazy voices. We just look for people that can really embody the characters, right? So and so with that being said, I think there's definitely room on the adult animation space, to find a lot more new talent to work with. And the last thing I'll say is, we also realize, like, especially for our people, there's not a whole lot of projects being made with Black leads or Black characters.
Yes.
So, this is not just about us, solving it's not just about us hiring somebody for our projects. It's also opening up doors for people who otherwise may not have an opportunity to work in this industry.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize Carl also gave them like their first, like there's a lot of voice actors that I've spoken to that they'll be like, Carl gave me my first job in this industry. And so that's what also sparked it. It was like, I don't know. It's just like a lot of people need that chance and they don't know how to get it. They don't know where to get it. They don't, how to start or anything like that. So, we just wanted to be able to open those doors.
I'm curious, as a quick follow-up, and then Zaina, you go ahead and go in. But Love, I mean, you be in there looking at the submissions, you be like, I don't like that. Like, who she think she, or do you be like, you know what, Carl, you need to give that one another look, cause like, that one look like it got talent, and they from Jersey too, and I'll just play. But yeah, so like, talk to me, like, what do you, what you saying about it?
It's harder than you think. Because it's like a lot of times I see potential in people. They just need a little more training in the space because you don't know what you don't know, so and then a lot of times people try to mimic what they think we need or what they think we want versus just giving us a natural, their natural essence to it. So it's a lot harder, and I don't know. I got a bit off a little more than I could chew because I was like, this is hard because I don't want to break people's spirits. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you might not have been good for what we were doing right now, but that doesn't mean you don't have potential, or we can probably reach back. Honestly, I think the best thing about the DreamCon thing that we're doing right now is, even if you're not picked for these projects that we're working on right now, you are on our radar, and we're going to pull back because, I think we've been working with like a lot of established talent, that has the name and brings the credibility to a film. But I'm like, where's the new talent? Where's the voices? Where's that? I get more excited.
I know that's right. Okay. Zaina, you had a question?
Yeah. Okay. So voice acting is definitely something that I've been wanting to break into because it's been suggested me a lot of times based on just the way that I naturally speak. But I'd imagine that there are some key differences between like training for acting on stage or acting in film versus, translating that into just voice acting. Would you agree? Like, what key differences have you found?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is you don't have your physicality to rely on when you're doing voice acting, right? So, some actors, for example, like Michael Jai White, who did an amazing job on Black Dynamite, the animated series. But that was also a new muscle for him. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. But that was kind of a new muscle for him because I think we even had a conversation about it, and he was saying like, a large majority of the acting that he does is, whether it's in his face or it has a lot to do with his, physically being imposing to someone and things like that. So you don't have as many tools to rely on, as an actor. So you really do have to bring a lot of nuance through your voice. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, a lot of times what will happen is people will overcompensate, right? Because they can't rely on their physicality, they end up overacting, what I'm saying, with their voice. And so, so it really is about like finding that sweet spot where you don't obviously, as an actor, you don't want to act. You don't want to feel like you're acting, right? And you don't want it to come across that way. So it is something I think over time you develop, especially after being able to hear yourself, because sometimes in the booth, it's hard for you to really gauge where you are because there's a lot of other things going through your head. So I think it's just something that comes with, with time and experience. You start to find that sweet spot for you, like, and that's the thing that I've noticed the most between the difference between them.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, people don't realize it's a lot harder than it seems. you know, because I even had a newfound respect for it, because it's like Carl makes this stuff look easy, you know, like he'll go in there and he'll be like, I'm like, okay, you know, but then when you go in there, it's like you don't have somebody else to act off of, you know, like when you're acting in person, you have that other person to play off of, or the scene play off, like you understand where you are. If you're surrounded in water and stranded in the middle of the ocean, you understand that you're actually in, you know, playing in a live action thing. But when it's animation, you have to still immerse yourself in that scene without actually being in that scene, you know. So it takes a lot more imagination. It takes a lot more understanding of your character, you know. So you really have to know your character, and you really have to, you know, be able to lose yourself in your character a little differently than, you know, it's different when you're playing in a live action movie or TV series. You can become that part because now you got the makeup on, the outfit on, and you looking at yourself like, okay. But when you can't see anything, you don't even know what your character looks like sometimes. It's like, you know, it takes some imagination. So it's a lot harder than people think.
I didn't even consider that. So normally when you record, like, the other person in the scene will not be there with you, so you're not like
sometimes, but from our experience, because a lot of times we'll be working with some like really, you know, big talent, so it's hard to coordinate schedules, you know what I'm saying, to get everybody together at once to record. But the other reason why I don't do it is because usually we'll have like a bunch of really crazy comedians, and when you get them in a room together, it's hard.
Like, y'all aren't gonna get any work done.
It's so hard to get work done. Like there was one time on Black Dynamite, I think we had Kim Whitley, we had Tommy Davidson, we had Clifton Powell, Michael Jai White, who else was in there? Deborah Wilson. Wilson.
Tommy Davidson.
Yeah, Tommy Davidson was there. And so we had everybody. I don't know why we did it this way for this episode, but yo, it was the hardest thing. I could not wrangle them in for nothing. It was the craziest thing. And I'll save you the details, but it got pretty wild in the booth.
Hey, could you not save us the details? Would you go ahead and be at liberty with the details?
I just remember at one point, I just remember Deborah Wilson flashing Michael Jai White, and while she was straddling Clifton Powell on the floor. So I'm just like, okay, guys.
No, you making that up?
I'm not making.
Was it alone?
I'm not. As a matter of fact, my son was in the booth recording it for behind the scenes.
Oh my god! Yo.
Yeah.
Yo, was that a flash without consent? Okay, hey, you gonna be a man today, sir? Okay,
your son's just in there like, this is what y'all be doing.
This is what I get to do all my life. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad.
But the funny thing was, like, Michael Jai White was in full Black Dynamite. He was in full Black Dynamite mode. So when Deborah did it, he went,
He was actually Black Dynamite. Come on, Michael Jai. I know that's a real character actor right there. I love that, man. All right, well, I got a quick question, man. So it sounds like what Love is saying is that I can't just show up to the studio with all this sexy and just be a voice actor. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, nah, bro, you can't just rely on all that. You gotta actually still enunciate and do little things. What I'm curious about is when you guys have voice actors, sometimes the voice doesn't match the actual person being portrayed. And you know, right now we're in a different mode where like people are trying to cast, oh, if you African, you better cast an African. Oh, if you Harriet Tubman, I need a Southern actual Black woman who's gonna play the role. What happens when you find that the perfect voice does not match? Do you Carl, Love, do you guys ever run into that? Do you just say, you know what, this is just the world of Hollywood, this is how we get down? Or are you more like, well, in today's modern era, so on and so forth?
It depends, right? Because the reason why I think that really became an issue is because, number one, it's very rare that you see a lot of Black actors doing voiceover for animation, period. So if you do, or it's very rare that you even have Black characters, right? So if you do have a Black character and you look past all of these brilliant Black actors to hire a white person, it's like, that's kind of crazy to me. You know what I mean? So like, I think if it wasn't so lopsided from the very beginning, maybe that wouldn't be an issue. You know what I mean? So then we can only think about like, you know, how good this person is for the role. But the reality is, you know, if you can find someone of the same ethnicity or that also comes from the same culture or understands that world that actor comes from, I mean, that character comes from, then yeah, it makes more sense. You know, it's not even necessarily always a race thing. Sometimes it's just more of a cultural understanding. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, especially the type of stuff that we did on Boondocks and Black Dynamite and a lot of the shows that I produced, it was very, very culturally specific, right? Mm-hmm. So if you didn't experience it, it was kind of hard for you to tap into it. You know what I mean? So that's more important than anything. I don't really get too much into the politics of it, but at the same time, I'm not going to ignore the reality that, you know, our people have less opportunities in this space. So we deserve to be looked at first, especially if it's a Black character.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
But we can't deny that Sam and Charlie Murphy playing white guys. You know what I'm saying? Like but at the same time, if they did have a white person playing that, it would have came off as a little like they were trying to, you know what I'm saying? So being that they were trying, you know, the type of character, having Black actors play those roles, it was just perfect. You know, like so.
But even with that, like that was intentional because we were trying to make the point that like they more niggerish than niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? That was the and honestly, and this kind of circles back to the first point that Love had brought up. Sam Jackson and Charlie Murphy were never in the same room together.
Oh.
If you go back and watch the show, they got all this really great chemistry. They never seen each other in the booth.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's because of scheduling.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I can see how that would work. I am. Well, you know what, Zaina, it's on you now. You got a question? Go ahead.
I do not.
Oh, well, good. Well, I'm glad because I got more. All right. Well, I'm glad that you actually mentioned that because with Charlie and with obviously Samuel L. Jackson, they made history with the roles. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, I still can't get the Bluetooth conversation out of my head. You know, man, I'm talking. I got one set of titties in one hand, and I got another set in this hand, and I got a, you know, like I'm sorry, I don't know why it's still in my head. So now when I see you with new faces coming into the booth, I'm excited. Like, oh my God, like what is it that? So I don't know how much you can share with us, Miss Carl and Love Jones. But I couldn't help but notice that y'all had a few people that I noticed that I recognized, like John Boyega in the studio. And I'm just curious, like, what's happening with this, what that experience is like when you have an actual stormtrooper in your midst. And he's a British chat. So I don't expect him to necessarily know all the culture, you know. I mean, I'm sure he's down with the rest of them, but it's different on that side of the UK. Tell us about that experience, if you don't mind. Whatever you can tell us.
He also drives. Look, I don't know if you can't see that Jeep, but it looks like a stormtrooper Jeep. It was like so cool. I was nerding out.
It looked just like it. Yeah, it does. What happened though? What's going on? What's going on? What's he doing in the studio?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't give a whole lot of.
I'm quiet because I always say too much, so I'm like,
I'm asking Love specifically. What?
No, I was saying like I can't get into specifics of like the characters that these actors are playing. But I'll just say that his character has a British accent too.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a project that I think these pictures you're referring to, like that's a really, really cool project that I was actually brought on to by Brian Ash, who is the writer of the film, and he worked with me like over the years on Boondocks, Black Dynamite. Like we've done a bunch of stuff together. yeah, so we came back together to participate in this project. I can't talk too much about it yet, but
man, when you gonna let love be love?
What's that?
The title. You can say the title, right?
Oh yeah. Well, the movie's called Slime.
Slime.
Yeah.
Slime. Yes. See,
Okay.
I gave you a little bit more. See,
that's why we love. I mean, Carl, you all right? You know what I'm saying? You cool? You know, we love us. I'm just playing. Yeah, of course. So is that the same? Is that where all of these pop-ups are coming from? I just showed you like a little cascade of them, but you got Willow Smith. You know what I'm saying? And you got a couple other folks. Is that what the project is for, or are these different projects?
Yeah, most of them, I believe, are from Slime. But we post a lot of stuff, so I'm not 100% sure. But most of them, yeah.
I have a question. With these celebrity cameos, have you ever had like an issue with a celebrity where it's just like these lines are not working out, like they cannot act? How do you coach them through it to keep them on the show?
Let me say this though. Carl is really, really good at voice directing. He won't say this, but I just want to like express, because he doesn't understand that like he has a true talent with these like actors, because a lot of times they'll come in like, I'm not doing this. I don't feel like doing this. I'm not about to scream. And by the end of the session, they screaming and carrying on and really into the character, because he's like, okay, you know, like he's very patient with them. So he's a person to get in the booth with first. I'll be honest, because he makes you feel very comfortable. If you've never done it before, he works with you. He leads you in the right way. So he's really, really excellent at that. And, you know, and so when they, even if they're not having a bad day and they don't feel like playing the character, especially when you're dealing with like high profile, you know, you kind of gotta like, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's not an option to drop this character. So like when you have to make it work.
Right. So, and he's really good at that.
Oh, thank you. But we work with some really talented actors. I don't know that there's been many times where like, you know, we've had like a bad actor. You know what I mean? There's you know, there might be moments, or like Love said, you know, sometimes you catch actors on a bad day, or you know, sometimes they have another full-time career singing or rapping. So like, you know, it could be a voice thing that they deal with. But outside of that, I mean, we work with some really, really amazing, talented actors. But what I will say is there might be. So this is one trick that we do, right? Which is like typically when you start out a film or a show, most actors may be a little cold in the very beginning, right? Even if they are cold, I never really give them the impression that the read is not working. What I usually do is once they warm up, like towards the middle of the movie, you know, we'll circle, you know, we'll either circle back then, or I'll wait till we get all the way to the end and then go back and pick up those lines. Cause now rhythm, you know, but I never really look at any take as a bad take. I just always see that there's some room for improvement. So you'll never hear me say, no, that doesn't work. Let's do another take. I would just say, you know, that's good. But
so it's always an encouraging environment. So they're never like made to feel like they just messed up.
Yeah. Because I mean, honestly, like, I mean, we're all artists have insecurities, man. To this day, I still suffer from what do you call it? Like imposter syndrome. So like, yeah, I get it, and I've been doing it for a long time. I get in the booth and I'm still nervous. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm doing a good job. I don't know if this is what the director has in his head. You just don't know, right? So the last thing you want to hear is that you're doing a terrible job, because then you almost want to be more. The best way to get the best performance out of actors, I feel, is if they are okay with being vulnerable, right? Like, and I think if they're being too cautious about what they do and what they say because they feel like they're doing a bad job, they're not going to open up and take risks and do things outside the box, where a lot of times you find the gold. So in order to find that, you got to give them the room to play, and they'll only really do that if they feel confident that you're liking what they're doing.
Right. I've always wondered about that, because a lot of the cameos are actors as a profession, but you know, when you have a cameo from someone that's not known for acting. Like this is someone that's strictly singing. They haven't acted much at all. And you still get to make it work. I've always wondered like what that process is for someone who has less experience in specifically acting.
Well, usually when we have a cameo, me personally, or what we would typically do, even at Marshall Blueberry, like we would tailor that character to that cameo.
So it comes naturally to them.
Yeah, I'll tell you another trick, which is also used in a lot of features. So usually the script writer will basically write the entire script in their own voice, right? Mm-hmm. And then once they cast the movie, then they go back and they tailor each one of those characters' lines to the particular actor that is now in that role. And that's where you get the best performance. On the Boondocks, I will honestly say that, like, you know, John Witherspoon, Granddad was John Witherspoon versus John Witherspoon being Granddad. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you got people like that, like Gary Anthony Williams and Cedric Yarbrough and like Regina King, you know, you start to, they mold and shape who these characters are. And we give them room to do a lot of improv also. So that helps to inform us, you know, as to who these people are as well, right? So like, it is this like symbiotic relationship that you have with the actors. So we're both kind of creating the character at the same time in a weird way.
But that's also what makes the good voice actor, because the voice actor brings more to the table too. Because one thing, you know, it's like you'll have, you know, you have what's written on the page and that's great. But when somebody can really truly bring it to life and add a little bit more and mold the character more, it's a great actor to have a part of the project, because you're like, man, and then that inspires the writer, that inspires the director to even, you know, do
right.
More. So it's like when you have a great voice actor or somebody that's comfortable, because even if you use somebody that's not used to acting, but they're rappers or singers, their voice is still their tool, you know, right. Like it's a tool that they know how to manipulate it to rap. They know how to do. So it's just about making them more comfortable. And for some reason, we always get like people in the music industry to work with. Like it's always a thing. So, you know, we've learned to work with their strengths. We learn to make it up to them, and also understand that it is still a tool. Their voice is still a tool, and we just need to know how they use it and make it work for them.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you, I might have mentioned this before in the interview, but you know that song "Don't Trust Them," the niggas over there in Boondocks.
Oh yeah,
in the garden party episode. So that song was off the top of it was Gary Anthony Williams off the top of his head. Like
that's amazing.
Like we had in the script, it did say that, you know, Uncle Ruckus sings the song "Don't Trust Them New Niggas," but Gary was like, "You guys have a song?" We were like, "No." And he went back in the booth, and on his way back into the booth, he just made up this whole song. And he's just like, you know, "Don't trust them new niggas over there. Even they nigga essence in the air." And every single line that he said,
that's disturbing and hilarious at the same time. I'm just
you premeditated niggatry is what you said, Love Jones. He had thought about this already.
Yeah, like,
you thought about this. Like you've been humming this song.
I'm just asking.
But that goes to show you like the brilliance of some of these actors, man. Like
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we were all on the floor crying. And I think we did like 3 or 4 different takes, all different lyrics. The song was so long, like we had to cut it down. But he just had all kind of. I mean, honestly, it was the same thing for the Jimmy Rebel episodes we did where Uncle Ruckus falls in love with this racist country singer named Jimmy Rebel, who was based on a real racist country singer named Johnny Rebel. But those songs were written by, you know, Gary Anthony Williams and Brian Ash. You know, and yeah, it is kind of weird that he just tapped into this
randomly
in the booth freestyling it like.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's going on?
Maybe that might have been supposed to go on his mixtape, and he just dropped it in the booth sesh all of a sudden. But no, that's crazy. So tell me this, my man, because you you did say that, you know, sometimes people make up stuff, and sometimes, you know, when you got somebody in the booth and they just riding, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to decide what it is you can and can't use. What's the deciding factor?
It's tough. It's really tough, man. I mean, you know, I'll tell you that the hardest person to edit, you know, is JB Smooth.
Oh,
JB Smooth gives you gold almost every single take, and it's different every single time. And because typically what we do is we'll have an actor do three takes, right?
Right.
JB will give you like 20. Like, he just goes. And so it just makes our job even that much harder, because it's like, bro, all of this shit is dope. Like, all of it is good. Like, now we can
just vote. Like, okay, which one? Because all of these are hilarious. Like,
right.
It's really tough, but it's one of those things where, like, you know, they in Hollywood they say sometimes you gotta kill some babies. I don't like that term, but that's what they say.
Ooh.
You know,
that's what they say.
Yeah, what the hell? My God, they can't kill something else like time or.
I know. I mean, some people say, huh?
You know, it's your baby, it's your creation, so you gotta like.
I guess.
You gotta kill some babies. Like, you put like, just whoa, like in California. Yeah, that's what they do.
Or, you know, some people say you got to pick a shirt or whatever, but like sometimes you just got to make some hard choices, man. But there's many times where, like, I go back and I'm thinking, man, I wish we would have used that other line, or like it's tough. It's tough, you know.
Oh wow, yo, you know what I'm seeing now? I'm seeing another level, another layer of you, Carl. Now we've had the pleasure of speaking with you a few times, and now I'm seeing the tiny, like you mentioned at the top of this about your what they call imposter syndrome. I would have never figured you for that guy. I mean, you always oiled up and everything. You know, you never got no problem with the you know what I'm saying? The hair. You never have a bad hair day. Everything always is in place. You always seem to land something. We still riding the Boondocks wave because it's so monumental, and I mean, it speaks to how dope you are. And so to hear you say, like, you know what, every now and then I second guess myself. Every now and then I don't know. Every now and then it brings the human element out of you, because frankly, you're monumental in our community. So that brings me to another. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I got a couple Boondocks questions, got a couple, you know, down the way, but I did want to start capping off the voice actors questions and then move on real quick. So you guys didn't really get very specific, if I'm not mistaken. Like, the only thing you did kind of say that you were not willing to lose somebody on with regard to the voice acting submissions was the lack of production quality. Like, you're like, look, we're not going to say you can't get this role because, you know, you don't got the right equipment and all of that other stuff. But there were certain things that you're definitely looking for, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is the ability to do multiple characters one of those things? Like, what are the things that you absolutely have to have when you see that submission? When you open it up, what are the key elements that at least get a second look for you if you are submitting? Yeah, and I pose that to you as well, love.
Yeah, so I would say the very first most important thing is acting, right? It's always acting. It's acting over the voice. And sometimes that is the problem with voiceover, not the problem with voiceover, but I think a lot of times what people think the expectation is to just have a lot of crazy voices, right? And sometimes they're putting way too much emphasis on having a bunch of crazy voices and less emphasis on the actual acting, right? I personally I just want to see like really, really solid acting. Even if you don't have crazy range is good. Range is good. It's always good. Like, you definitely want to be able to go from high to low and have multiple, you know what I'm saying, accents and things like that. But your acting ability is key. You know, becoming the character that you're playing. Like, truly, like Love said, getting lost in the character. That's the most important thing. And honestly, the ironic thing about that is that's the most overlooked thing a lot of times with voiceover, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I agree 100%, because I mean, a lot of submissions, people were just giving me funny voices, you know, like, and it was funny because I was looking at some people and their natural voice when they were like, "Hi, I'm such and such," was really good. But then they'll go into speaking, and I'm like, I wish you would have just your voice, like I really, so it was like you had it, but you took me somewhere else, and you lost me there, So one girl I'm gonna call out. I don't know her name. I'm not gonna call her name.
Oh gosh.
No, just give the name. What's the name?
One girl, I don't remember her name. But when I tell you she had a bonnet on, she was sleeping like this and did her interview.
No.
Did her submission. I was mad. I was like, no. Even if you had the most amazing voice, right? Carl's mad because he's like, I was mad at that girl. If she was watching this, you could do better.
That is an impressive amount of audacity.
Yeah, all right, I'm gonna post that, and I'm gonna say, "Do you know this woman?" Please. Oh man, that's crazy.
She was tired.
She was. It wasn't. There was no. She didn't. It wasn't a live interview. Like, if I'm not mistaken, like she could have just did it when she woke up.
But even if you wanted to put a bonnet on, you could just put a bonnet on, whatever. She was like, I'm not even getting out of bed. I'm putting my pillow on my head. I'll just go to Yo, she stuck out, but in the wrong way.
Okay, all right. You know what? That brings me to that's interesting. Let me take this real quick. So let me ask you this: what if she had the best voice out of all of them? I mean, she had the bonnet. She could act though.
But I couldn't tell because she wasn't giving me, because also the biggest thing about voice acting, and I think this new generation kind of suffers from this just a little bit, is you have to have that ick factor. You got to be okay to be cringy. You got to be okay to be, because that's where you get that gold. That's where you really find that weirdness that people gravitate to, or what I'm saying, but now everybody wants to just be stiff and cool, and you got to be willing to just be like, because that's where you find those unique areas and voices where you'll listen to stuff and be like, what made them say it like that? But then it sticks out to you, and you're like, that is like, a lot of people, like I say, it's one thing to have something written on a script, but it's another thing for a voice actor to completely deliver it. Like my favorite line from when Carl said, "This nigga went to get a motherfucking raincoat." Like the way the inflection, what I'm saying? The inflections on that is hilarious, because he could have said, "This nigga went to go get a motherfucking raincoat." Right.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but he said, "This nigga went to get a motherfucking raincoat." Hey, because you can't even do it. You have to like bounce when you say it.
All together now, everybody.
That's the point, right? Like you want to tap into the character, right? Or at least even the idea of who the character is in your mind. A lot of times I'll pull from people that, because I observe people really well. Like I study people all the time, like all day long. Like yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with like studying people's behavior, mannerisms, and just like those subtle things that with their voices and things like that is always just really interesting to me. So a lot of times if I'm doing a voice, I'm tapping into like people I've observed, you know what I'm saying? Or people I know, like in my family or my friends, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like that also helps. So the character does feel like a real person, and you can bring something unique to the character because it's actually like, inspired by someone.
Oh, so you mean Thugnificent is based on a real life character? Like you actually, because I know it's supposed to be ludicrous, but you was like, you know what, my cousin sound like this. Like, hey.
That was 100% me. Well, so it was two things. So I was channeling Ludacris, right? But we had these two writers on the show. They went by Pistola. They used to do like guerrilla films. Like they used to do like these really funny short street films and stuff. So we found them on the internet. And we brought him on the show. One of them, his name is Jason Von Veen, and he was from the Bay. Well, both of them are from the Bay. right? So they had this like real specific idea in mind for Thugnificent. So it was like it was a combination of Ludacris and some of his bravado and his swag came from like the Bay. You know what I'm saying? Even though he didn't have like a Bay Area accent, but some of that you know what I mean? Like some of his machismo and all that shit kind of came from the Bay. But it was like a combination of those two things. But originally I was doing Ludacris because we couldn't get him in the booth, right? And we needed it for the boards and for the timing of everything. So I was trying to match his performance. So that's why everything was like, fuck you, old ass nigga. Stop hating me, get money. It was all, I was doing like, Ludacris when he does like,
the big, yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you did. Zaina, don't let me step on you. If you got something, please feel free to jump on in. All right.
Okay, that means now. Okay.
Not necessarily. No. I just want to make sure I didn't step on you.
Okay.
As a woman that I respect very much. I do want to go a little deeper into Boondocks just for one quick second, if it's okay. And we can always edit out if need be. But you both understand how monumental that show was. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I know Black Dynamite and a whole lot of other shows. That show seemed to be the crux. It was the foundation, I believe, of some of the other things, including Martian Blueberry, that eventually did end up coming about. How do you feel now that it's kind of reached the level where it's low-key sort of being emulated? Like, I know that there's another animator named Justin Richburg, and he's not the only one, but he's just one of the more popular ones that have been making mock videos of some of our most beloved characters. I'm wondering how you specifically feel about this, Carl, as a producer. Are you looking to send cease and desist? Are you like, hell yeah, that's the culture? Is it a nod and a wink? Like, yo, I respect. Or like, what's your true take on it?
Well, first of all, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just happy at the fact that people are even still talking about the show.
Nice.
Right now, like, there's a lot of shows that come and go. So the fact that the fans and the people are showing love, like, I mean, that's
we love
Justin. Yeah, by the way, Justin's the homie. As a matter of fact, I just talked to him the other day. Like, we got stuff we do together also. Yeah, like Justin is a brilliant animator. I mean, a lot of people don't know, like, he's doing the shit by himself.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about it.
He gets upset with that when people say that.
No
AI.
Yeah.
He actually does it click by click. He's
doing all the animation himself. We got something that we collaborated on. Just
are we allowed to talk about
it?
Yes, you are. Please do.
No,
I don't think we can talk about that one yet.
No, let's just let it come out. But
I'm sorry, the fact that animation takes so long and it's like
but this one
was
This one it was a thing that fell in our lap and we kind of worked, but we'll talk about it later. But no, but what I was gonna say is it's all love, and I definitely encourage people, or not encourage people, but I hope that people are inspired by the work that we did, and hopefully like carry the torch and take it to a new level. You know what I'm saying? And continue just to push the culture forward. Because like I'm a fan just as much as I am a person that makes cartoons. Like, so I love watching Justin do his thing, and Ace Vane, and you know what I'm saying, King Science. So they're like really brilliant animators. Yeah,
he'll repost all of it, and anytime it's the funniest thing. I'll be on TikTok and then all of a sudden just hear Carl's voice, or it's like it's like I didn't really it's really funny how many TikToks people redo of Boondocks, and then how many especially of Carl's voice, because he did a lot of things that people don't even realize. He voiced. I will go on record. I think he has the crown. He did the most voices on Boondocks. I know that he doesn't want it, but he did the most, not like obscure, like, you know, the background voice. Because I'll be like, was that you? That was you? You know, just saying some random shit in the background. I'm like, Carl, that was you. So he did a lot more voices than we could even like try to show, you know, like, so when I'm watching Boondocks, I'm like, that's Carl. That's Carl.
One of my favorites, if I could just interject, is wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
Iconic. Especially when you find out it did happen to him. That's what makes it funny.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Yeah, we've already done that, you know, so we're not gonna repeat that cycle because I mean that's been circulated of it, but that is fascinating, that whole true story, and you know, yeah, go check the other interviews if you want about that. I am very, and this one, if I'm crossing a boundary here, let me know. But I am curious if y'all mind. Give me a second, Zaina. So, in addition to you being the producer, especially of the latter seasons, I mean, also Aaron McGruder was creator, you know, and I mean, it was there for the comic strip and all of that stuff. But if I could say so, hopefully it's not disrespectful, but you have essentially morphed. I don't want to say morphed, but you've been, as of right now, you're heralded as the face of the Boondocks production, at least as far as our memory serves. And perhaps that's because not only did you do all of those voices and all of the production, and you were a producer, and you also had the book and deal with all these other things, but also because you're willing to speak out and you're willing to be a part of the community. You're showing up to DreamCon, you're going to BlurredCon. How is your relationship with Aaron? I mean, he brought you in. You told us the story about how he met you as just a dude who just moved over there and you just had a notebook and you were just drawing shit, you know, and he's kind of like, I guess he's happy, or, I mean, is he cool with you kind of taking the driver's seat, so to speak, as far as Boondocks representation? I mean, is that safe to ask? I'll take a drink.
I'll take a drink. Unfortunately, we don't really have a relationship. I haven't talked to Aaron since the end of the third season, and I wasn't involved in the fourth season, and even the attempt to do a fifth season, I was not involved in. So there was a moment where I think Adult Swim was trying to, like, you know, get us to work together and bury the hatchet. I wanted to, he didn't, and so we just never did it. And that was actually right before season 4. And that was disappointing because, you know, I missed the show, but I also miss, like, the camaraderie of the crew. Like, we was a family, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's really, it's tough, man. Like, even to this day, it's kind of sad to me because I felt like we had a really good chemistry, all of us, not just me and Aaron, but like everybody that was on the show. It was truly like a family, and we all brought something really unique to the table that I think made it what it was. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I don't know that he's on speaking terms with everybody at this point. Most of the people I talk to, they haven't really talked to him much. So, you know, it's weird right now, that part of it. But as far as, like, you know, I wouldn't consider myself as the face, but I will say that I'm definitely trying my best to keep the brand alive and and to, you know, remind people of what we made, because I'm proud of what we made. And, you know, and I feel like, you know, I mean, look, I mean, I want to see, like, where this goes, what the future generation comes up with. Like, I'm going to be a part of curating, you know what I'm saying, some of these new up and coming talented writers and producers and animators to help carry the torch. And so this is part of the reason why we set up Martian Blueberry, was not just, you know, it's, you know, we're trying to find, and we're trying to create legacy here, not just, you know, an opportunity for us to make a movie or a TV show, but for us to create a brand and a company that can curate and open doors for new up and coming talent. And so a part of me pushing the brand is also, you know, leveraging the success that we've had on the Boondocks to create a new opportunity for up and coming creators as well. Like, that's really what it's about. It's not, you know, there's no ego behind it. There's no, you know, I don't need You know what I mean? Like, as a matter of fact, most of the time when I do an interview and people ask me about the Boondocks, I do my best to number one, show Aaron love, because he gave me this opportunity. I wouldn't be here if he didn't give me that opportunity to work on the show, right? But number two, it's important to recognize everybody that was on the show, from the Rodney Barnes to Yamara Taylor, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, I mean, we had so many people, man. Like, I mean, and like I said, on the voice acting side, Regina King and Gary Anthony Williams, and, you know what I'm saying, John Witherspoon, and, you know, it's just like it was a lot of really, really dope elements that came together to make that show special. It wasn't just one person or two people.
Was it, I mean, listen, the people want to know, was it a tumultuous separation, or was it just more distance because of projects? Is it miscommunication, maybe disagreements?
You know what? It's not even that deep. You know what's crazy is it's like it's not even no real beef, really, because at the end of the day, what it came down to was, you know, I was developing Black Dynamite as a pilot for Adult Swim, and I, without Aaron saying it, you know, me knowing him, I think he felt as though I don't think he was ready for me to start spreading my wings and doing independent stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I think especially because, you know, I came in under him, and you know what I mean? And so, like, but my intention was never ever to leave the Boondocks. In this business, you know, writers and producers juggle a couple of projects all the time. Sometimes 3 or 4 if they're good enough. You know, Rodney Barnes, I remember when he was working on Boondocks, he also was working on My Wife and Kids and Everybody Hates Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, like, but with me, I think because Aaron and I were so tight and we worked so closely together, I think there was just a little bit more of I don't know, the expectation was different. You know what I'm saying, when it came to me. So you know, so when I did tell him about the pilot, I don't think he took it well, but he didn't really trip about it at first. But where things really hit the fan is, you know, it has a lot to do with DJ Vlad. Seems to always be in the middle of some beef. But basically, Vlad was on the show, right? Like, we had him play himself. He was interviewing Thugnificent in one of the episodes. And so once we started getting footage back from overseas, when we had some actual animation to show, I shared it with Vlad, like, on the low, like, you know what I'm saying? Just so, you know, and we do that when people are on the show. Like, if you were on the show, I'll be like, yo, check it out. It looks dope, right? Yeah. It's kind of so, but because Vlad is a vlogger, he talked about it, right? And so Aaron saw it because I think it went viral or whatever. And like, Aaron saw it. And I think he used that as the reason to be upset with me, because he didn't really want to, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, we did have an argument around that, and then I think it spilled over into some of these other issues with Black Dynamite and whatever. So like that, so it was tumultuous, and at a certain point, like, we just didn't talk at all, and then I wrapped up season 3 and then just moved on, you know. But with that being said, I'm also able to look at it from his perspective, being that, like, you know, I'm sure just the fear might have set in that this nigga might possibly leave the show and do something else, and like, what's going to happen to the Boondocks, right? So I do understand that part of it. I think the way he went about it, and I think we could have communicated better, you know what I'm saying, so that things didn't have to, you know what I mean, like, go that far south. But when it did go south, it went south. and at that point, it was like there was no way to really, like, pull it back. You know what I mean?
I don't want to harp on it because I think that the point's been made. But I am curious if you think it's more of a trust thing or if it's more of a fearful thing. You know, do you think that he expected, because he was the one who, I would use the word discovered you to an extent, I mean, that he deserved to know your each and every move, your each and every thought, if you're planning to even branch out? Or do you think it's just like well, if that's what he's gonna do, then I better go ahead and just shelve myself because I don't want to end up, you know, he leaving? I know he gonna leave, you know, because we all have insecurities. Let's keep it real. Or is he just a complex dude? I mean, he seems like a complex dude. I ain't trying to get you to like talk trash.
No,
it's not like it's amicable, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think look, like I said, I could understand the fear or the concern, right? But I was also pretty transparent, right? Like I never, for example, when I was working on I did Freaknik the musical while we were doing Boondocks, right? And I told him, I told him about it. I'm like, yo, I'm doing this, I'm doing Freaknik or whatever. And it was, but here's the other thing this is a skill set that I kind of learned over the years too, is when I'm juggling multiple projects, I never have a reason any clients that I'm working with, their project will never suffer because I have something else going on. Or I'll never say, well, I can't make it to that meeting because I got this other thing going on. I find a way to make it work, right? And so, and a lot of times, I don't really go into too much details about what's going on in each one of these productions to another production. Because sometimes they begin to feel or get, concerned that would take precedence or be your priority. So I've kind of learned that over the years working in the business. So, I try to keep things kind of clean. Like I do what I do for the Boondocks. I make sure everything is done. I do my job to the hilt. And I do the same thing on Freaknik, right? And I never let those things bleed over into each other and affect the quality of what we're doing, right? So that's something I always took pride in. So it was never an issue, right? I think with Black Dynamite, because, and I'm not 100% sure, but I do feel like Freaknik I was doing with another person. I was doing it with Nick Weidenfeld. He brought me on. That's kind of a long story, but anyways, that was a project that I was brought into after it was kind of moving already, right? Whereas Black Dynamite was more like the animated series was more my brainchild. Although obviously the movie existed before the show, but this was more like my entire vision. You know what I'm saying? And Freaknik was a one-off. Freaknik was a one-time movie. It wasn't an entire series. So Black Dynamite, I think, might have even been a bigger concern. So anyways, with that being said, my biggest issue with it was, like I said, like I think, once the shit hit the fan and we kind of had it out, there were some choice words that happened. And so like I began to that made me think, well, I don't know that there's much of a future with us working together anyway because of how it went down. Because you know what I mean? Like you and I can have issues, but we got to have a way to resolve those issues. If we don't truly have a mechanism to resolve those issues, then it's kind of hard for you to work with people because you're always going to have issues. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like where it was like because that shit to me wasn't no real beef anyway. Like where I'm from, like I seen niggas who got real beef, and I've been in situations where it's real beef. I've been shot at, and I've been, you know what I'm saying? So like so I'm just saying like, and I'm not. That's not the same.
Yo, did you just bury the lead? Like what the fuck?
No,
like
there's levels to this beef.
Like what the beef is when you make your enemies lose sleep or whatever it is. Come on.
I'm just saying. I know what real beef is.
You're Fayetteville, though, like.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know what real beef looks like, and that to me was not real beef. So when I saw how it was being handled, I was like, yeah, I don't know that this is going to be fruitful anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up going separate ways. But I never closed the door because obviously Adult Swim called me and was like, yo, can we get you guys together and try to figure out how to make this work? And I was like, man, of course. Like I love Aaron. I owe him everything for even giving me the opportunity to be in this position. Why wouldn't I? And I love the show. I miss you and Wiley to this day. They're like real niggas to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's true. Like so I don't know.
I mean, I will say this as a fan, just from a fan perspective.
Please.
I wish Aaron would talk about Boondocks a little bit more, or would say stuff and just embrace what it means to the culture. But I'm very happy that at least Carl does, because we get to talk, like even bringing the Boondocks panel to DreamCon because it's the 20th anniversary and
Yeah.
Fox isn't gonna, or Adult Swim, they're not gonna do a series like they did for a lot of these other shows, an anniversary show like they do for a lot of other shows for this. So at least you're giving the fans something, because it's still just as important to this new generation as it was in our, at our time when it first came out. So yes. I'm thankful for Carl and Gary. He keeps his character alive, like he really does. I love, so he really be killing me with his Uncle Ruckus.
Oh, trust them, no nigga. Oh, hell.
But I'm appreciative from a fan perspective, to see them still talk about it, because it still means that much. And I know if it means that much to me, it means that much to, other fans, and just wanting to know, because who else is going to talk about it? And it just helps to know a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. It just really helps. And, it's unfortunate. Sometimes we wish, we're never like, Aaron, don't say, we invited him to the Boondocks panel, we still reach out. So it's just unfortunate. We wish. My thing is, what makes me so upset, like when I think about it, like Carl and Aaron could have been the Matt and Trey.
Yes. Yes.
Why couldn't it be our Matt and Trey? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But unfortunately,
and by the way, for those the South Park guys, for those that aren't in the know, they're like they're on like their 80th season, of South Park, and Carl and
I'm sure they've, but they don't let that ruin the bigger picture. Like they know South Park means to, their fan base, and so they work it out, or make it work. Like they make it work. But unfortunately,
Do you, last question on this, but do you think that he feels a way when he sees you keeping the brand alive? Do you think that there's like in the back of his head, he's kind of like, well, they get like, it's my shit, like, or I mean, look, I know this is kind of uncomfortable. I ain't gonna lie. Like, so we ain't even got to answer it, but it's just so odd because it's such a well-loved franchise. And I'm gonna be frank, Carl, if you weren't out there like it, I don't think that it would still be getting the type of residual love that it's getting. So I want to echo what Love said. As a fan, I thank you for not only saying it's cool, but making these appearances, doing these panels, and keeping the story alive, and also for letting us inside the studio, giving us the stories, telling us how crazy Cat Williams was at McDonald's, and how there was Deborah was straddling, and it was like all of these things we need to know. This is what the people need to know. So do you think he's sitting there like, I was there too? I mean, I don't know. Just let us inside.
Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking or how he may feel. But I will say that it's never any how can I say it? Like I hope that he there's no ill feelings, right? But I look at it like this, man, and this is not just me. This is everybody that was involved in the show. We dedicated our entire lives to that show. When I say that, I mean we had relationships that were suffering, marriage that was suffering. Like we were spending 24 hours a day making this show, and I mean literally, we were spending the night sleeping in the studio, and not. I mean, there was times where like, bro, like when we weren't seeing our families, our kids, you know what I'm saying? Because the show was behind schedule, and there was a lot of stuff, especially in the first season, there was a lot of problems with the show originally. So we had to fix a lot of stuff, which required us to spend, I'm telling you, like we never slept. And so that's why we also became like a really tight-knit family, because we spent so much time together. Like, so I say that to say, there's no reason why anybody that dedicated that much of their time and their livelihoods to the show shouldn't be talking about it and celebrating it, right? Yeah. And I hope that he understands that, because it was a big part of our lives as well, and we sacrificed a lot to make that show too. And not to say it didn't benefit us, because it did, but it was also a huge commitment. Like, I don't even really get into like the details of, of like probably like, you know, all the what do you call it, the
semantics.
All the guild rules we were breaking. All the extra hours of overtime and you know, like it was a beast making that show, and people don't realize it took 2 years to make one season, right? So
dang.
Yeah, it's 2 years to make.
It takes a long time.
So you're talking about, you know, 3 seasons. That's 6 years. But there was also some times where we took extra time and we went outside of the budget and schedule. So sometimes it was like 2.5 years. You know, so so we spent a lot of time. We put a lot of energy, blood, sweat, and tears into that show, and I'm going to talk about it. You know,
absolutely.
And, you know.
Yeah, that's a lot of time to wait to have to talk about it, like while it's in production and you can't say anything. So I'd imagine you want to talk about it.
Oh, I believe it.
I don't know how to hold water. You know what I'm saying? So
I would talk about it every chance I got, as soon as I was allowed to.
I leaked the Megan Thee Stallion thing like 2 years ago. I was like, oops.
Yeah, remember that.
We're able to announce it. So.
And I want to get into that too, actually.
Like, don't say nothing.
I got so many questions about that. I want to finish the Boondocks stuff with this. So does that mean, Carl, that if for some strange reason there was a petition and 100 million niggas signed it and was like, yo, listen, we refuse to buy any products until Boondocks has a season 5 that is co-created by Carl Jones and Aaron McGruder, your game, it's just a matter as whether or not he would come to the table. But does he hold the keys and by way of the rights?
I don't know where that landed at this point in time. Like, I don't know. The last I knew, Sony, you know, owned the rights to the show. But look, I would come back and do the show for free. It's never a question in my mind, you know what I'm saying, whether or not like I would want to do the show again. Like I've never felt like I didn't want to do this. There's never been a day in my life where I felt like I do not want to do that show. I would never do that show under any circumstance, because I just don't feel like, I feel like as grown men and as people, like there's no problem that we can't resolve, and there's really no real beef anyway. Like I said, nobody's being shot. So you know, so really there's no real reason why it can't happen other than niggas not wanting to get past their ego. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, petition or no petition, I'm down. I would love to, and I think if nothing more than just to bring these characters back to life for the fans and do something that, you know what I'm saying? Like I would. That's a dream, bro. That's a dream. Like every now and then I'll do a post just because I'll wake up one morning and I'll just be like, damn, I miss Huey and Riley. Like seriously. Like
I believe it. It shows. Love, talk about it, Love.
No, it's just, you know, like I see it a lot when he, you know, when he gets more like, he's very creative, and when he starts to think about like Huey and Riley, like he thinks about like, we'll talk about that certain things like, oh yeah, that Riley, that'll be a funny Riley episode, or that'll be, you know, like just different things like that. And, you know, it's just always so much new material, like, especially now, like, as a fan right now, I want to know what Huey and Riley would say about right now. You know what I'm saying? I want to know. I want to know. So it's like, it's unfortunate, and he's always wanting to put that hat back on, you know, because he loves it. He truly loves it.
You can tell. Yeah. You can tell with every cosplay repost that he does. You're like, you don't miss it. I love it, man.
If you're at DreamCon, BlurCon, wherever you at, if you are just in any of the characters that Carl, you know, worked with, please always come by our booth or something. We just want to see you take a picture. We love it so much.
All right, make sure we get that word out. Now about you getting shot.
It's not a daily occurrence for a lot of people.
You see what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I've been shot at before. I know real beef. I'm like, hold up. Did he just?
You said that like we've been shot at too.
Does like what?
What? Over some,
it was just a Wednesday.
What's up, Carl? Did you not? Why are you getting shot at, my man? Did you steal the wrong comic book?
So I'm gonna tell you a funny story, okay.
I love it when he starts like that.
Let me set the stage here, right? So, I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina, man. Affectionately known as Vietnam, and
Really?
No, I mean, like I came up around a time where it was like height of the crack epidemic. I seen a lot of stuff, man, and it's a lot of friends being incarcerated, shot, killed. You know what I'm saying? Is I came up around that. I wasn't really living in that lifestyle, but I was the kid that was like drawing pictures on people's jeans and jackets, and my mom was keeping me in the house on punishment. So I was I would sit in the house, look out the window at the niggas on the corner selling crack, and I was drawing. So it's that guy. So I wasn't really like in it like that, but I'm just saying, like, I grew up around an element, and so I know, I know what we talking about ain't nothing, man. Like, really, like this situation you talking about with the Boondocks is not a real issue. But I did get shot, so I'll tell you.
You were just sitting down drawing, minding your business.
You was in the window and got shot.
I used to sell bootleg movies, right? I was like the Nino. I was like the Nino Brown of bootleg movies. My neighborhood.
You better get that money.
So
that's why you can't get mad at people bootlegging like all this other stuff. Like,
you was the HBIC, the head bootlegger in charge, but you been started this. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was my thing. Like I was because I was in North Carolina and New York. We were getting our movies from New York. New York was about 9 hours away driving, right? So I was like once a week I was driving 9 hours to New York and back getting movies and selling.
Dang.
And and then eventually I began to I had a few people working for me. It was a whole operation. Anyways, so we used to sell movies at this gas station that was like right behind the projects in Greensboro, North Carolina. So around 2:00 in the morning, the clubs were let out, and this became like a hangout spot. So I was there with my van, and I had a table set up with all my movies. And so
it was real.
Yeah, no, it was
professional.
So there's one guy, he comes up to me and he's like, yo, I had a business card too, yeah. But there's one guy, he comes up to me and he's like, yo, man, he's like, I bought this movie from you last week, and it was a flubber movie. I know this was a flubber. It's like
Robin Williams.
Flubber. He was like, I bought this movie from you last week, and I'm sitting down, I'm watching it with my daughter, and all of a sudden, this nigga gets up and walks in front of the screen, and I want my money back. And I was like, well, when you go to a real movie theater, somebody gets up and walks in front of the screen. Nigga, you can't get your money back.
He tried to reason with him. He tried to talk sense. He's like, well, technically, there's no proof of purchases. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty clever at the time. You know what I'm saying? So,
can you tell us how old you was around? I mean, around how old? You don't got to tell us the exact age, but I mean, are you teens? Or are you like 20s?
Oh no, I was definitely in my 20s.
Okay.
But so anyways, the conversation escalated, and long story short, he left. Right? I wasn't giving him his money back, so he left. And to be honest, I just got out there, so I didn't make no money, so I couldn't give him his money back. So, anyways, so me and my boy Hood, we standing in front of my van, and we got the TV, the TV and the tapes and all that stuff set up. And I see this car creep up into the gas station, and it's a bunch of niggas in the car. And the dude that I sold the movie to, he was in the passenger seat. I'm on his right side. He's in the passenger seat. And he's got this arm on the window, and that already did look good to me, right? So the car picked up speed and he started. They rolled up right by the table, and my sixth sense, my spidey senses started tingling, and I just grabbed my boy Hood. I was like, "Yo, get down!" And as soon as I pulled him down, he pulls out a gun and just starts shooting. Right, and so he shot out the glass. He shot up my van. All the glass and the windows of the van got shot up, and then the car peels out and they take off down the street. Right. And so my boy Hood was like, "Yo, let's go get them niggas." I'm like, "You can go get them niggas." I ain't about that life. I was like, "Bro, I'm going home to draw or some shit." Like,
I'm going home to draw. That's how the Boondocks came. Yo, oh my God.
Yo, but on some real shit, I remember I got home and I was sitting on the edge of the bed, and I was literally sitting there thinking, like,
what did I do to make them niggas that mad?
Yo, that was perfect.
You know what's funny? Anytime he'll be saying something serious, and he's like, and I was thinking to myself, and I just start laughing because all I hear is that. Like every time he's something serious, I'm like, well, don't start with. I was thinking to myself, don't start with.
Yo, but that was perfect timing though. That was
you walked right.
Yeah, you deserve that one, homeboy.
I was literally like sitting there, like I swear to you, because what I used to do, I would come home at night after selling movies, and I used to draw for hours, right? And I would do some writing too. I was mainly an artist at the time. I really think of myself as a writer, and I used to just like put all of my drawings in these boxes in the kitchen. So I had these like boxes that were like kind of like, because it was like a small apartment in the hood. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? So these boxes started piling up in the kitchen because I used to draw so much. And I was literally, I was just really thinking to myself, like, yo, like, thinking to myself, I was really just trying to figure out, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, am I, like, how long am I going to be able to do this movie thing? And that was a moment where I truly started taking my shit serious with my art, you know, because as weird as a story that is, like, that was the moment where I was like, you know what, I think I need to really try to like do this art shit, right? And as I was doing that, I got hit by the feds a couple of times for my movies. They came up in my house, took all the movies out the crib.
Well, they do put that FBI warning at the beginning that says pirating is a serious crime.
Well, at the time, they had like a whole department. Like they had a whole department. They were cracking down on bootleg movies. So it was a serious thing. Funny story. So I'm in a comic book shop on Battleground Avenue in Greensboro, North Carolina. I swear, I'm in a comic book shop, and I'm looking at a comic book on a shelf. And this white dude in a suit, he stands next to me, right? And he picks up a book off the shelf. And he's like, so what kind of movies you got? And I'm like, he don't look like the typical customer. The typical customer I sell to shoots at me at gas stations. He didn't look like that. So I was like, I sold movies to you before? And he was like, no. He said, but I think we need to take a trip to your car. I need to see what's in your trunk.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was an agent.
Oh my God. Dang, that was on you? You in Greensboro? Little old you trying to get a couple dollars? That was on you? Wasn't this around the time that like all the banks went down and stuff, and they was trying to get what, like $80 from you? Like, what the hell?
I think the motion picture industry was losing so much money at the time.
Oh, wow.
Because you guys, killing it, bro. They was like, I mean, and that's where I was getting my movies from. You know, I got stories for days in the bootleg world. It's craziest stories you could ever imagine. But because especially going to cop in New York, like there was so many situations. Stuff that
you get put in jail for bootleg movies. Like that's not gangster.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. What you wearing for?
You was filming in the back of a movie theater and you got caught up.
Yeah, what you doing there, Loke? Well, Flubber was hot at the time, and
like when I pulled out the camcorder, my light was on.
He had an undercover agent trying to hunt him down for selling Flubber on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like we need to do like the Carl Jones bootleg movie days. Well, look, I got to do this because it's my homegirl, and y'all know her, you love her. You've seen her before, but she had to do a little bit of work before, but she is able to chat with us now. So I have to bring in the homie, the one and only. It is my good friend, Yazzie. What's going on, Yazzie? Welcome. Oh snap! Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm in like it's an office room. Like technically it's like a soundproof room. We have one of our houses because one of our owners is lawyers, so this is like their hideaway room, technically speaking. You know, I'm working, so I always got little things I could like pop in real quick. You know what I'm saying? You can't have the beautiful background today. So guys, I'm sorry that your backgrounds are way better than mine. Don't worry. If I pop out this room, we could be in Greece in the movie, like sit on a swing. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever vibes you guys are feeling, I will get them in this room real quick, okay?
Well, thanks for having time to pull up. I know we don't have too much more time with Love and Carl. They've been kind enough to finally give us some time here. But we've had a fun time talking about the Boondocks. We talked about voice acting. Yaz, by the way, is now a member of the acting world, as is Zaina. Both the lovely melanated ladies we see on the bottom of our screen are looking to get deeper and deeper into the realm of acting.
Speaking of that, for the people that were not able to attend DreamCon and do the live auditions, because I know that was exclusive to DreamCon attendees, where can we keep a lookout for future voice acting opportunities with the family? Because I'm trying to get in there.
Honestly, we're always looking for special talent where it's never like closed. Right. We're always looking, but we will have some more opportunities. You can always follow us at We Are Martian B on IG and TikTok, and we'll be announcing other opportunities as well, because we're always come talk to us, say hi. Like we can't promise anything, but it's always good to talk to us and make just make a personal relationship, because you never know. We might be like, oh, you'll be perfect for this. Like,
right. Know. Have there ever been any instances where you're just like scrolling on social media and someone just stands out to you, or is there something that you would recommend for people to stand out, or do they just approach you?
I mean, I think all of the above.
Yeah, all the above. Yeah, but we're always looking. Yeah, we're always looking.
But one thing I do want to say is, because there's a lot of submissions, right? We got a lot of submissions,
right?
And if you don't get selected, and we're gonna make this known too to everyone, but we don't want everybody to think like that is your only opportunity to work with us and some of the things that we're doing. And honestly, this kind of came about after hearing so many really great auditions and it being so hard to narrow it down to only a select few. We thought it might make sense to actually build a database, of all of these different actors. We just start to categorize people so that when we are starting to cast, instead of going the traditional Hollywood route, we can look at our database first and see if there's some,
right.
So I think that's important for people to know, because I don't want you to think like if you didn't get selected, like, man, like, I want you to get down. Like it's, yeah.
There was so many really, really good submissions. And honestly, it was just to a point where it's like, we can't put everybody up here. We'll never, what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So it was a lot of great submissions. And it was a lot harder. Like I said earlier, it was a lot harder than I anticipated, because it was hard.
And what's the database for the people that haven't like made a submission already? Is there still a way to get into that database, or?
I would right now, I wouldn't say that it is right now. Right.
Right.
I think we want to, we definitely want to prioritize the people who did audition first, and maybe, what I'm saying? But I think at some point, we're talking about a few things. One being like an educational component, right? Where we can actually, do a workshop or help some of these people who audition and people who didn't audition that maybe a little rough around the edges and just kind of need some coaching and some guidance. Because I think a big part of it is that, right? It's like there's a lot of people with the potential, but there's what you don't know, right? So, so we are in the process of figuring out like a program that makes the most sense so that we can onboard new people, but educate them at the same time, so they're not just taking a shot in the dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rule number one, sit up and make yourself presentable, though. That's one.
Yeah. Don't audition in a bonnet, lay them sideways.
Yeah. Not optimal. Yes, you had some?
Oh, my turn now. Okay. Sorry, my bad. Okay. I think we're good. Sorry, they're like vacuum cleaning behind me, so I just want to make sure. Okay, so Carl, you have been wonderfully open on podcasts about your experiences being an introvert and navigating just massive projects while, just dealing with anxiety and just life as you know it. We're human beings, so managing multiple things can get tough at a certain aspect. For other introverts and creatives like myself and other animators who feel overwhelmed in the business of Hollywood, what would be a personal strategy that you would use to project, just some positive energy to get you kind of more into helping you dive into a new project, even under, circumstances where you feel like you're crumbling?
Wow, that's a good question. See what I have in my hand right here?
Yeah,
so,
what is that?
So it's a bracelet, right? But it also is like a the bracelet.
Are those prayer beads?
They're not prayer beads, but they have like a this smooth surface that's kind of like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's good for anxiety. It's good for it's soothing. Okay. It's good for anxiety, right? So I always have anxiety when I'm doing anything in the public. So so there's little things that I do like this. So you didn't see this because you know what I mean, because I don't want to show people that I'm anxious, but I'm anxious right now. But I do this. But one of the things that I started doing a lot more is meditation. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes even meditation has become almost like such a commercialized thing, almost like doing yoga. But I think really, really taking some time and working on your focus, because at the end of the day, my anxiety really comes from this is the case for most people. It's either the worst case scenario that you're worried about, right, or something in the past, right, that you're focused on. Both of those things have a lot to do with where you're focusing your attention. You either focus your attention on the worst possible scenario, or you're focusing your attention on things that went wrong in the past. So I think the more you meditate, the more you strengthen your ability to focus. So what I typically do is either I focus on my breathing, or I'll light a candle and just focus on the flicker of the candle. Because sometimes when people do meditation, they go, well, I can't meditate because I can't stop thinking of stuff. I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to meditate because I can't get my mind, get the stuff out of my mind. Yes. So that's the hardest thing for you to do is stop your thoughts. You're not gonna be able to stop your thoughts, but you can change your focus.
Okay, I like that. You can channel your focus.
You can channel your focus. Okay. So that is the one thing that I've been doing a lot more of, and it helps. I still have it, The other thing that I do that helps me with get over my anxiety, if I'm doing like a pitch, right, which is the thing that gives me the most anxiety. I'm pitching to a network, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's on a Zoom or in front of people, it's the Zoom is the worst, because especially if you're pitching a comedy, because you'll have a screen of it's like 12 white executives typically, right? and you're telling jokes, but they all got their mics muted. So you don't even know if shit is funny. Yeah. So having to pitch is the most terrifying thing to me. So usually what I do is I kind of have a little bit of an alter ego, or so to speak, or I become a character that pitches, right? Okay. So it's not me. It's kind of it's a slightly different version of me.
Did you name your character?
I didn't name the character, but
okay, I just had to ask.
But it is it's that character's a little bit more just a little bit more of an extrovert, right? So okay. It's almost the equivalent of doing stand-up or being on stage. If anybody has that experience, it's it's you, but it's a version of you that's more entertaining. And so I had to mentally do that, kind of separate myself from that person that does the pitch. You know what I'm saying? Because me as me, I'm terrified, and a lot of times, like I said, like I think that what do you call it, the imposter syndrome. I think a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people in this industry that have the same thing, and in some ways it's good because it helps you grow and evolve, because you don't think that you've reached a place where you got it all figured out. Like you're constantly looking to elevate your craft and become better, because you don't take for granted that you're where you are. You know what I'm saying? So there's a good side to that. The downside of it is you may lack confidence, and you don't want to show a lack of confidence when you're in rooms with certain people. So thus the alter ego. It's a little Thugnificent-ish, a little bit, but not quite that far.
I can see that to 100%. You're channeling Thug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna tell the executives to eat a dick, but I'm saying like,
oh my gosh.
But if they need to, I mean, I can already see. Yo, you know what I just envisioned? Like, yes, I picture him pulling up to the Zoom call, and he's all like, "Are y'all niggas ready for all this Thugnificence?" You know what I'm saying? He's like, Booty butt cheek. Who the he just started going in, just like, we like you, you're hired and shit.
I would never tell a show.
Sorry.
It was interesting to hear that Carl had like anxiety, because I would watch him pitching and I'm like, really? I would never.
Yeah.
I would never have known. I'm sitting there like this, but he's like, he seems very calm and cool as a cucumber,
Yeah.
And you were nervous the whole time. He's like, I was anxious. And now that I know him more, it's like now I understand. I could see the signs, but at the time I'm like, well, you don't look like it. It doesn't show, and you're able to hide a lot. The
whole time he's taking a back seat in his mind, and the alter egos.
Because it is performance. When Carl, he's very different from any of the characters he's ever portrayed, or like it's kind of funny. You're like, you're nothing like that person, but he truly knows
where you get your beats from
when he has to. Because even the way he writes, I'm like, I still question, like, okay, do I really know you? Because how do you write this? Like, how did you write this character? I don't understand.
Yeah, where did these deep thoughts come from?
You're not letting me in on.
That's interesting. That's
interesting. The inside.
Yeah. I got these bees from it's this company. I'll send you the information, but it's
Please do.
Let me see.
Because that's gonna be like, I was asking because, like, literally, like Love said, you were so calm and cool, relaxed, like a cucumber. Like, I would have never known that you were sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Just but when I'm doing say it again. Sorry.
The background. I'm sorry. I think there's a bit of delay. I apologize. No, but he has his like incense going on in the background, and
I didn't think that's what that was.
Yeah, I had to tell him to make his instance like a little more visible when he's on screen, because all of a sudden you just see this smoke and it's like he's like,
like what you got going on?
yeah. I'm like, this dude is in a monk monastery right now, and he got the dog on it too. I seen a picture with him like putting the dog, like, hey, get some of the stage right quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
There's a whole like I'm glad you asked that question too, because man, mental health is really important in this.
It is
in this business.
Oh, yes.
That was excellent. In general, like, but this business, man, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Not just the workload, but just the politics and the bullshit that a lot of people don't know about. That comes with the territory. It'll put a lot of pressure on you. You got to really know how to navigate all the pressure and all the there's a lot of really great people in this industry, but there's also a lot of lying, cheating, and stealing in this industry. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So
it's within any industry, but this industry is a little bit worse, and they're a little bit like more like on the surface, like this is how it is kind of thing. I'm learning, so yeah.
So personally, like it's the meditation, but also like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dr. Sadie, but yeah. So Dr. Sadie was a friend and a mentor of mine. So like I learned a lot about herbs and nutrition and health from him. And then I got like Sadhguru. I don't know if you guys know Sadhguru, but like he's a yogi. He's a really popular yogi. I think he's like the most viewed yogi on YouTube. But he's but we met with him a couple times. So we actually have a project that we're developing with his foundation to save the soil. But he's someone that also I think I don't know, like I have these mentors and people that like you know what I'm saying, that kind of help me on the health side, both mentally, spiritually, and physically, you know.
I got it. All right. Thank you for that question. Yes, we all needed to hear that because, like I told you before, like, and I think Love is learning what she did learn as well, which I don't think should have happened after the marriage, but it did happen. You know what I'm saying? More about your anxiety and all of that. And it's good to know that you are human.
It happened.
Okay, I'm about to say, I'm like, hey, hold on, man. You didn't hold out on this until after you dumped the broom and shit. Like, hold on, nigga, you all antsy and shit. What is all this? Like,
I know Carl for a very, very long time. We started off truly as just like friends, like, you know. So I've known him for a while, and then it's just like knowing him, thinking I knew him versus who he truly is. I didn't know him. It was like, oh, you're a lot more interesting than I thought.
Okay. By the way, I'm just kidding, man. I don't like to play around with mental health because it's something that we as a community, I think we never really take seriously. Like we still don't accept terms and shit. They don't be like, OCD, no nigga, you crazy, just step on the crack. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, calm down. Like it's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like these things affect me anxiety wise. So it's sad to hear. I don't want to say sad, but it's unfortunate to hear that you suffer from it. But it's also enlightening to hear that somebody who has achieved as much as you suffer from some of the same mental ills or even just inconsistencies that some of us regular folks have to deal with. You know, Zaina included and myself, Jazz, we all got daily problems. And Zaina, I can speak to Zaina specifically. Like Zaina is like well known. She got like millions of followers or whatever, right? And so we'll be walking around and she'll be like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm like, oh my God, you're Zaina, like shut up. Like, you know, and she'll be like, oh my God, I just don't know. I should have. Like, are you serious? Like, this is who you are? You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought you were just, you know.
Yeah. So, people think I just don't like them when I meet them. It's just like, no, I'm actually gonna cry later because I'm overstimulated.
I completely get that because even for me, like I started in the industry, you know, before, like I started in music and then I did like video modeling. I was video vixen and all that, you know. So, but I was always thrust in front of the camera, and I was never comfortable in that. You know, I was never like I don't care. I want to be behind the scenes. I was a casting director. I wanted to cast the girls. I didn't want to be one of the girls. I wanted to cast them. You know, so even like now. I love being behind the scenes, but Carl is like, no, you don't see many Black women in animation. You really need to the plate a little bit to just inspire the new generation of, you know, because I guarantee you, if I saw a Black woman in animation that didn't know how to draw, but still can make a career, you know, out of doing something like this, that would have inspired me too, you know, and so I do understand the importance of it. I personally a lot of us deal with certain things that we didn't know there was a label for it. We didn't understand that there the anxiety, or we didn't understand it.
Or in the Black community, you just get beat for it.
You just get over it, you know, like you didn't have like therapist. There was no therapist. You didn't go to therapy.
You went to church.
I've been asked like, oh, how did your parents deal with this growing up? I was like, I got beat. Like, oh, you don't have the motivation to do things? Here's your motivation.
Carl and I joke about that all the time because we talk about like depressed. You better depress them dishes. You know
exactly. Like, have you tried whooping them about it?
Right. There was no way you were depressed when the house was dirty. You weren't able to be in that space. You weren't able to feel that because
I saw you smile yesterday.
Right. I can't be depressed because I got bills to pay. So you can't be depressed.
Right.
We didn't have that. So now we have that space and we have those conversations, which is so important, you know. And so, but also, like I said, just having that representation out there and saying, hey, I suffer from this and I'm not comfortable with this. And I'm, you know, it's so important. And I love Carl's vulnerability to even admit that, because a lot of people, they try to put on like a brave face and suppress that, where you shouldn't. You should talk about it.
Well,
Or they just think there's something wrong with them, and like they're just not handling things that everybody is supposed to be able to handle. So when they see someone that can relate to it,
but you know what's crazy? Because I always have anxiety attacks, right? So it was crippling. Like it was like you know, there was many times like where Love and I we'd be on our way somewhere and then we can't go because I would have an anxiety attack, and I used to feel so bad about it. And she was always really, really understanding. She'd be like, "No, we're gonna turn around. If you don't, you know what I'm saying? If you know you're going through it or whatever, we gotta get you." And so it was, because it was something that was always hard for me to deal with, and I never wanted to a lot of times I would hide it because I just didn't want to affect everybody else's good time. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that was something. But the other thing that I started to realize, this is become a therapy session, but I
that's okay.
I never truly understood that I had like ADHD, right? Like that was like a
same. When did you get diagnosed? I got diagnosed when I was 29 last year, and it made so many things make sense.
So I didn't officially get diagnosed. I just started to realize, you know, because I had some friends, I knew people who were diagnosed with it, and every single thing that they checked off was exactly the same exact thing that I was.
Yeah, usually those peer diagnoses are valid, because I keep getting people with like ADHD or like autistic people that are just like, "Hey, did you know this about yourself?" like we could see you, right? So that's what made me get my diagnosis in the first place, because they were like, "Yeah, you're one of us." Like, I don't know if you knew, but
wow.
Yeah, so that you probably have the same thing where like you have a hyper focus, right? But there's also outside of what you are hyper focused on, it's like I have trouble remembering everything. But
probably know where he just put his keys, but he will tell you every like animated project, who animated it. Oh, you know, and I'm like, how do you remember all of this stuff?
I do that too.
Like, we went to eat, and he was telling the tour guide more than the tour guide was like sitting here, like, because he could tell me everything about Egyptology. You know, he studied Egyptology and all that. He was telling me all this stuff, and the tour guide was like, "Well, yeah, he's right." Like,
it's like, why don't you just leave the tour?
You want my paycheck?
Well, I'm glad that we have gotten that out in the open. I got a specific question for you, Miss Love Jones. So tell me, you are speaking about Black women in animation and whatnot. Talk to me about Miss Meg Thee Stallion's project, now that we can actually talk about it. I mean, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're trying to do. What am I doing? What I do?
I know what you're trying to do.
Don't bait her. That's what she said. Don't bait her, Vince. God damn it.
What I do? I just I want to just take Carl off the screen and just talk to Love about the Meg Thee Stallion project. So without any interruptions,
I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in.
Don't get me in trouble. No.
All right, fine. What's up, Carl?
I can say one thing.
Okay.
Oh boy.
To me, this is probably one of the best things he's ever written.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
As a female nerd, a girl nerd that loves women empowerment, Black women superheroes. You know, I don't know if y'all see, like, I got like this whole thing, you know.
Nice.
Oh yes.
Yes, I remember that.
I'm obsessed with showing Black powerful women, and especially in animation. And I feel like there's a lack of representation in that space as well. Hands down. I'm just so excited about it. That's all I'll say. I'll shut up.
Okay. Carl, go ahead with the legal, bro.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say when we did BlurCon, we kind of got in trouble because somebody did a post because we had a clip playing at the booth of our reel, right? And within our reel there was some clips from a music video that we did for Meg that never aired, right? So she posted it, kind of giving the impression that we premiered the show that we're doing with Amazon, and that was
it. Weird. Who's gonna show it on a little screen? But whatever.
Yeah. So it went viral, right? And then I got a couple phone calls.
Yikes.
But I don't get it though, Carl. Like that, I hate to say this, man. I hear you and all that, but it sounded like some phone calls, but it was erroneous because it wasn't even actually the footage that they thought it was, right? Like, so what are they really angry at, or what the phone call is really a precautionary measure because it wasn't the leaked footage. So what the fuck?
It wasn't, but I guess one, they just want to understand what happened, and I explained.
Oh, okay.
But also they just were like, well, okay, well, if you can just like take down the footage from the video because it didn't air, and you know what I'm saying. And we did get we did get permission, but there was some changes internally, like the personnel is different now, so they were like, oh well, we didn't know, blah blah blah. So it was all good, but I'm just very I want to be kind of careful and not. But I'll just say that
mess it up because it's going to be an amazing show. So we don't want anything to take it away from us. We need this. We deserve this, people.
Oh yes, you do. And I'm not trying to instigate. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little sly, but I ain't trying to get cause no problem. You know what I'm
saying? No. It's all good. But I was just gonna say that I'm just as excited as Love is for this project, and Meg is over the moon, bro. She's like. As you know, she's a huge anime head.
Yeah, this is probably like a dream come true.
It is.
One thing I do want to really reiterate about Meg too, like she is really dedicated to this. It's not just some passive thing that she's like, I wouldn't mind doing that. No, she's dedicated. She is, she's producing this. She's working closely with Carl to really put her voice and make it her own and what she loves about anime. So it's not some passive project for her. She is truly dedicated to this, and you guys are gonna see that.
What's the hold up?
Oh, sorry.
No, so it's not even a hold up, really. It's just the process is so long, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we have a projected
2 years for Boondocks.
That it's gonna come out.
I can't say yet, but the only thing I'll say is what initially took so long was COVID, right?
Yeah. I remember you started this.
Yeah, we remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was COVID, and then the strike happened, right? Then after the strike, we ended up we wrote a pilot. So the process that they go through now, which is new to me too, it's not just a pilot that they greenlight. You write a pilot and then you write a second script a lot of times, right? So the first script already takes some time, and then the second script takes some time, right? And then you have to produce either like a proof of concept, like a short proof of concept, or an animatic, you know what I'm saying, which is like the storyboard movie version of the pilot, or a full pilot. So that you have to go through that process as well, right? And it's a lot of back and forth. There's notes and there's changes and this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a long process. That's why I always tell people, like, to get something on the air, it's a miracle when you get it on the air. Like, it's really, really hard, because there's so many levels of stuff you got to go through to get it to a place where the network is happy and they're ready to greenlight it as a series. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're really close. We're really close.
And that's like doing the legal stuff that, and all that. So you got to get all that legal stuff out the way as well. And then the creative can kick in. So, it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. The deals and all that. Yeah. But I'll just say this. I think we're really close to being able to say something officially.
Ooh, yeah. Exciting.
Fingers crossed. I'm like super, super excited because
I'm telling y'all are going to be like,
I'm ready.
The cosplay level, we're not going to have to worry about, you can't cosplay there. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
All them racist people with black people trying to cosplay.
Wait till the black community is going to be like, you can't wear that.
Yeah. You're the wrong color.
Oh, no.
I had someone say I couldn't cosplay Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's not even a person.
I can't. These people are off the wall with these expectations of what people can and can't do with their own bodies. I mean,
you're blackwashing them. They're a Happy Meal. What do you mean?
You're the soda in the cup. Come on, y'all. Damn.
That's funny. I can't. I would have had to highlight that part. Like somebody saying something like that. That's
happy meal shake. And if it's a chocolate shake, hey, we good.
Right.
I know that's right. All right, we're gonna start wrapping things up here, guys, so we can get y'all enjoying the rest of your day. I am curious. All right, love. I see you sidestep. You know that was dope. How y'all, you know, what I'm saying, managed to get out of that little trap. I mean that strategy. But I am curious now. If I'm not mistaken, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're just about coming up on a month past you guys' anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not correct, right? June 5th, is that right? Right? What did y'all do? Did y'all?
It's coming up. Yes.
Oh, it's coming. It's July 5th.
July.
Oh, my bad. I get my Junes and Julys mixed up. You know, J. All right. So what are we doing to celebrate? Because y'all ain't the type to just, I don't celebrate anniversaries. No, y'all going to Thailand or y'all going to, to Fiji or something. Well, and then I want to know from you, Love, after you answer that, Love, I want to know.
Double trip. We did, because we just got back from France.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, oh la la.
We kind of did it early because July is a really busy time for us. It's really kind of hard, so we just kind of like snuck it in a little early, and we went to, Paris, and we had a lot of fun.
Okay, just went to Paris for our appetizer or whatever.
But we went to work though.
We went to work. That's why I said it was a double.
That's what I that's what he said.
We're both. The biggest problem with us, we're both workaholics. Like we're like, okay, it's gotta, and our company is growing so much and so fast, and we're at the head of it. So it's like we don't have the luxury right now to be like, okay, I'm gone for a month. We don't have that luxury right now. But we're both okay with that. So then we'll just sneak a few days of our own time, in Paris when we needed to be back, and then that's it, so.
Okay, hold on, man. Well, all right, now, I can be as bougie as the rest of them. What is y'all doing in Paris? I mean, how many times can you see the Louvre? How many times can you drive past the Eiffel Tower, take a picture by it? What are y'all look like the type, y'all go, oh, Mr. Carr, Mr. Louvre, welcome back. Here's the usual thing.
I used to live in France, so I used to live there. So it was kind of fun for Carl to see where I grew up, because, I always go and see where I lived in North Carolina. So it was kind of fun for him to see, this is La Sienne, and kind of like just show him, Paris. So that was fun for us.
What do you show him in Paris? I'm really curious about that, because
because we weren't there that long. So you got to see the Eiffel Tower. You got to see the Triomphe. You got to. I had him.
Let me feed you some omelette du fromage.
He's always hearing me talk about like, oh, these croissants aren't that good, He's always
Carl, are you impressed? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
Move there now.
Ooh.
The thing I love about France is, one is it's like the animation hub of the world. You know what I'm saying?
He goes right into work shit.
I wouldn't have expected that.
It's definitely back into some work shit. But also just as a fan of the art, you know what I'm saying, of the art form, like, because we went there. Part of the reason why we went there is because, honestly,
that's a big dog.
He needs some sage.
You got Cujo back there?
I'm hungry.
Astro.
Feed me human.
He's like, Joe, I gotta go for a walk. You done?
He's like, you sit.
He got beef with Amazon and the mailman. Like it's on site. Every time they come by, it's on site.
He's not a tough guy at all.
I'll be telling them all our secrets and shit.
No, he's a big teddy bear dog.
He's yelling at the man for walking on the grass. Get off my fucking grass!
It's on site with Amazon.
Come here. All right. So we went. Part of the reason why we went there is we went to Annecy in France, which is there's a big animation festival that happens every year. A lot of people, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but this is where like it's like a global event. This is where all the animation deals go down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is our first year going, and we had a project. We did a panel with our French animation partners, Tinto. So we did a panel to premiere a new project called JJ. It's a psychological thriller. It's an anime-inspired show, which is really dope, man. We'll be premiering it on this side of the world at DreamCon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so it's really like the animation hub. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, we were considering like maybe, parking a Martian Blueberry office there somewhere,
Oh, hello, Mr. Carl Jones. I going to audition for the voice audition role. I want to do the part of you and Riley. Oh, no, nigga, you gay.
You know what? You know what's funny though? I just found out it is illegal to say nigga in France.
What?
Illegal? Like what?
Illegal? Like locked up? Click, click.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is the term for like what is
like
your?
They can't have it on TV or any. It's illegal. You can
That's crazy.
Even like bloggers, they can't say it.
Do they get penalized for it, or they just get like as a ticket or something?
I don't think you can move there no more, Carl. Like, I think we just decided to get that.
Like Paris. Woo!
Damn, niggas in Paris.
Can't even be a nigga in Paris.
That's gonna be the new anime.
That's the thing.
Nigga-less in Paris.
So our short film we can't even show in Paris then, right?
I don't know. I don't think
we got a short film that
Carl's like, damn, you just realized something for me.
You can censor it BET style instead of nigga. That's a poster.
Yeah. I just found that out. I found that out.
So I could have been arrested plenty of times while we were doing it.
Not too late. Let me make a phone call. You know what I'm saying? Yo.
Yeah, so.
I mean, like, I wonder. Oh, wait a minute. Is it the hard R in word? Or, I mean, can I?
I don't know I don't know.
We're gonna have to look into this.
I just know, like, there was a few bloggers talking about it, and then they like a lot of people lost their page when they had even Black people saying, like just casually, they would get banned.
Well, so if me, Zaina, and Yaz is walking down the street, and I'm like, nigga, get your ass, and click, yo, excuse me, it's a tournament, damn it.
Only when it's like recorded. Only like when it's recorded to the public or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Found out that Boondocks, even though they had a version of Boondocks in France, because I've seen like the dubbed version, but it's not on HBO. And I'm like, I wonder why. And then I went down a rabbit hole and saw that because they say nigga all day long.
That's wild.
There's a different version in France. It's like,
oh, it's the funniest thing.
You gay.
Neighbor, you gay.
How do we find the French version of like in
there's
America?
There's like a Japanese version. If you ever find like the dubbed version of Boondocks, that's like
neighbor, you gay.
Neighbor. Okay.
I have one more question before we
All
go.
right, let's wrap
it.
Neighbor, you gay is stupid.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so since
the New Blurred Order is one of my favorite places to visit.
So sorry, I hit the wrong button.
I was like, damn, he just cut me off.
I'm so sorry. Yes, niggas in Paris.
He leaving.
This nigga. I'm sorry.
All right, so since you guys just partnered up with obviously Team Toe, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because sometimes the name doesn't really sound like how the name should sound like. So I just wanted to make sure and clarify. I don't want to get these people mad at me on the internet. But since you just partnered up with it, culturally and deep rooted with United States studios, how are you guys going to be pushing boundaries now with this adult animation? Because like you just said, they don't use the N-word at all. And, we use it for humor sometimes.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm just finding this out when you guys found it. I didn't know. Love never told me this.
Yeah, but wait, can I just say something real quick before you go in? Like a lot of people don't realize Black Dynamite, they never used the word at all, but it felt like he was found. Yeah, I didn't know that. Carl's the one that said they couldn't say it. So there's ways of still going around it, you know.
Okay.
But I just wanted, because I always thought that was an interesting fun fact, because I was like, wait, you didn't say the N-word in Black Dynamite?
I mean, it wasn't easy. I mean, I had to go through nigga rehab. It was not easy. But
nigga rehab.
Yeah.
But I do think just in terms of like pushing boundaries, I mean, the thing that we love about Team Toe, for those who don't know, so Team Toe has been around for about 30 years, right? But the company a few years ago, it went into bankruptcy. And so it was bought out of bankruptcy by these two new co-founders, Marco and Tara, who we're really, really close with. And they have like an entirely new vision for the company. And one of the initiatives is to launch a whole anime arm of adult animation. And so that's part of what brought us together was them wanting to do more stuff in the adult animation space that was more anime inspired and was pushing the boundaries in terms of story, culture, and just, you know, doing stuff that's really loud and disruptive. So that's why it made sense for us to partner with them, you know.
Yeah.
No, that totally makes sense though. Like, because I was wondering, of all places, you know what I'm saying, you went out of the United States and you went to Europe, and I was just like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Right now, international studios they're cooking. Like they're cooking, and you know what I'm saying, US based, we're always getting into strikes. We can never pay anybody. It's always negotiation after negotiation. So that's why I was wondering, you know, like what prompted that, but that makes sense. You both have the same kind of vision. It's just, what direction are we going to go with this vision? So I'm super excited. I can't wait. Adult animation is literally like, it's my new fetish now. So I'm so excited to see where you guys go. It is. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
That was an interesting choice of words.
it's not, because I like to enjoy TV when I do have time. You know what I'm saying? But I only like to watch good shit. And if I'm wasting my time, I will click and turn off. But adult animation, I've learned, like certain studios, they just be cooking, and I just
that's true.
eating it up. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for Marshall Blueberry I can't wait for you guys to launch. I can't wait to support. I'm like, I can't wait to get my shirt and wear it while I'm watching the anime. Like,
I got you. If you're gonna be
I can't wait to be one of the actors. I'm manifesting.
I mean, don't. You know what I'm saying, Zayna? I'm pushing the envelope, but you know what I'm saying? We'll start being a spectator, and then I'm getting my, like they said, this craft is all about art, and it's all about learning, and it's all about like performing and learning and crafting your art to be amazing. Leo didn't become amazing just because, you know, he decided to wake up one day and was like, I'm going to be an actor. He had to work at it. So I'm ready to put in that work, and hey, who knows? Maybe one day I'll have Martian Blueberry on my resume.
Yeah,
I'm burning some sage for it I'm burning something, and it's being burnt right now. And we're gonna go ahead and seek that into that. We may inhale it after we close this session.
I did want to say one thing real quick though. Like, we weren't looking to partner with another studio. It wasn't like, oh, we need to. It just kind of really happened naturally. We just like really fell like in love with Marco and Tara, and like we have had a multiple partnerships before that just didn't work out because, you know, we really have to connect with people.
Yes.
You know, it has to. Our biggest thing is we rather do it the long way, you know, the harder way. If it means we can have peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter about the money. We've walked away from really big money deals. It has nothing to do with any of that. We just really like people that we can vibe with and we are on the same page with, you know? So
yeah,
that's how that really also came along, and we just was on the same page. You know, it was like,
it's funny. It's funny you said the same exact thing I was about to say. Yeah, and we, of course, but that's the other thing about, I think, France that I love so much is they when it comes to animation, there's just like a really deep rooted appreciation for it, right? Not to say that, and I'm not saying that it's not appreciated by the fans in America, but in terms of like the companies and the government,
studios,
in the studios, it's become more, because you know, a lot of studios in America have been more driven by marketing companies or marketing people versus like people who actually have a true love for the art. And and the government in France is like, they're putting money into the animation economy, you know, so like, you know, because it means a lot to them to stimulate that economy, not so much just because it's a lucrative economy, but also because they have a true love and appreciation for animation, the same way the Japanese do. And at one time, America had that too. And I think at some point that began to take a back seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry. I was just saying that makes sense.
Well, I appreciate you guys being so insightful and donating so much of y'all time to us, even while the Amazon guy was getting eaten up by whatever monster. We heard like a few minutes. He started barking. You noticed that, right? Like he is being eaten up. Like there is a whole freaking lemur bone on the front yard right now. It's just the birds all over again. But anyway, I got a femur. I said lemur, didn't I? I was thinking about Madagascar.
An animal.
I had that quick pause. I was like, is it femur or is it leak? You know what? Is it tibia or patella? I don't know. I want anatomy class. All right. So so I got a few rapid fire joints before we let y'all up off the hook. All right. So a couple rapid fires, and we're gonna go ahead and get y'all out of here. And I want to direct some of these. I'm really curious about this because one of the things that I love the most about Martian Blueberry, in addition to its melanatedness, in addition to its creativity, is the art factor. There is a real legit art factor when it comes to me or Martian Blueberry. Am I wrong for saying that? Like y'all have a dedication to art. Like even every time I pull up, we see in the background with you with the superheroes, with the black women, with the afros, with my man in the background, there's some afro, some Black Dynamite. There's a respect for it. So I see projects and I feel that there's something to interpret from them. Love, what is it that one could gather from this, what I call splish splash art black woman? What do you interpret from this? Because this right here is giving. Just tell me what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but what are you?
That was from it was for the Megan Thee Stallion visualizers, and about her talking about anxiety, like what we had, and her speaking her truth about what she dealt with, and it's just like how sometimes you're just drowning and you're just feeling the pressure of the world, and you're drowning in that. So that was our way for quick. I think we had 8 seconds or something to do that, to interpret. That's what that's for, because it's like that's just beautiful. Showing how no matter how powerful she looks, she's drowning. She's she do it as well.
It's like you're constantly feeling like you're underwater. Even once the water subsides or whatever, you see there's another wave of water. So it's like you constantly. That's the best way to kind of express what it feels like sometimes when you're anxious. It's like you're spiraling or falling, and being underwater is the pressure.
Wow. See what I meant? That's art.
It's the parallels and the levels of like, when you're falling, you know what I'm saying? And like, when you feel like you can catch yourself, but you can't, and you just keep going deeper and deeper into the abyss. It's beautiful. I love that. Oh my God.
That is so dope. See what I mean by art? Like, and it doesn't stop there, Yaz. All right. Now, same question, same Love. So how do we interpret this for what part of anxiety?
Black women are blessed and beautiful. Black women are blessed and beautiful.
Hey man, listen, you ain't gonna get no lie. Hey, look, I agree wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? My whole family black. But yeah, so yeah, man, speak to the depth.
About this, it's always very funny trying to get like the artist sometimes to be okay with just doing this
with the booty butt cheeks.
The artist is like, I came here to make a difference.
That's why black animators are so important, because they understand how to draw us a lot of times, the first wave, she wasn't as curvaceous, and we're like, and it wasn't as So it was like I had to like find videos and kind of show them like
like we need the right parabola of that ass.
Need the dimensions.
Yeah.
The circumference of the African American gluteus maximus should be about 45 degrees.
He's like, I want the boobs to stay still, but everything else to move. Let me show you what I mean. Okay.
The shoulder work is what's getting like you got. You know what I'm saying? Like it is so legit. Like come on, man. Like who? Where did this? I mean, yo, Carl, who's responsible for this? Who do we have to thank for this art?
That was mine.
Come on, it was actually the one. Come on,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, love, we knew it.
Winning for the win.
I know. I was afraid.
She got it, you know what I'm saying? Because the song, I forgot which song that, which one, but she had to just, you know, she had to be sexy. And it's also Megan Thee Stallion. Her, you know, she's got
right.
So
Actually, now that I look at it, this person looks kind of familiar. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something.
Wow. So all black people with afros look alike.
You just say wow.
All right.
I knew it was coming.
You saw that? I was like, did y'all get her to pull up for the audition and not give her the speaking role? But you're like, we got you though. We got you. You know
Surprise! I was the mocap actress. You see the shoulders.
Yes.
Look, go ahead. She got it. Go ahead with the. She got. Woo.
Hold on.
It's the seriousness of the face, though. Like, that's no.
You gotta keep your face like that right here. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. One word to describe these actors on the way out. One word to describe them, and then we release you guys to the wild. You can both jump on it. Just let me know which one. One word that comes to mind. These are folks you recently worked with and posted. I've already mentioned a few. Here's one word or a couple if you need to. But first thing that comes to mind.
insanely talented.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a cosign back there.
Yeah. Incredible.
I agree. All right. So we've got her. All right. One word. Lakeith Stanfield.
Man, I don't want to keep saying the same thing, but a beast.
Exceptional.
Okay.
Sensational.
John Boyega, our Finn.
I have a professional, humble. Yeah.
I would have also accepted British. John Cho. One of my, I cannot believe what happened to Cowboy Bebop, but that's another story.
Did y'all peep that?
What?
They were 20.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
They were 20.
Yes, they were. Yes.
They're 20.
Oh, twin game is on fleek.
Is that the word twinning? Is twinning the
It's
on
twinning.
the fleek, on the fleek. I can tell he's from Fayetteville too. I know.
Yes, twinning them.
Is that the word? Okay, we'll move on to another one. This is the last one right here, final one. And I'm looking here from you, love, especially because y'all look like sisters in this.
Obsessed. I'm obsessed with her. And you know what? Let me give her a little grace right now because she came in, she had her kids, you know, it was like Mother's Day. She didn't, we felt bad having her come in and even like do this. And she, you know, it was time for her to spend. This was her time to spend with her kids. She came in, knocked it out, killed it, and and was gracious the whole time. So yeah.
Yeah, and she's one of those actors, like I was saying with Gary Anthony Williams, like she brought something so powerful to that character.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, really great at improv. You know what I'm saying? And just own it. Sometimes you don't have a lot of actors that really just know how to own a character. Like Denzel Washington is another one who owns a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she is absolutely 1,000,000%. I could see her at some point in time. We're gonna be talking about her in that same vein.
Yeah, I know she already got like an icon award, but I feel like we still haven't seen it yet.
She's incredible.
You know what's funny? Before you guys, like, I had to pop out because my cleaning crew was asking me a question really quick. I didn't know who you guys were talking about, and then as soon as I like started listening, I was like, I guarantee you they're talking about Tania Taylor. Fair enough. To go on the screen.
Like,
yeah. She got her award.
Yeah, but I know she's done some amazing things, but we're gonna be seeing a lot more from her.
I've messed around and forgot to put up the picture of Michael Jackson's nephew, but you know what? I'm just gonna assume that he was a thrill to work with, a thriller, so to speak. All right, man, we're gonna go ahead.
Before we leave, I do want to say one thing though. We do have our voiceover talent, contest coming up at DreamCon, but we also have our from Boondocks to Martian Blueberry, where we're going to talk about the journey of how Carl.
It's a panel.
How he's to this. We have a panel on Friday at 8:30, programming room 1 now, programming room 1. And we have some surprises. We are going to be premiering 2 things. We're going to the U.S. premiere of JJ. We'll be showing that. And I'm trying to figure out how much I can say. The world. Always trying to get me in trouble. And a world premiere of Martian Blueberry's very first short film. We will be premiering that at DreamCon. It's all-star cast. It's amazing. It's called. Can I say the title?
Not now.
Yeah.
Oh,
boom.
Anyway, and then we also have a special performance by Coast Contra. If and the legendary Dougie Fresh is going to bless us. So
whoa! Oh yeah.
It will all make sense, but I know it's like random, but it will all make sense, and you'll get it, and you'll love it. This is at our panel. Yes, this will be at our panel Friday, 8:30, programming room 1 at DreamCon.
Whoa, I ain't gonna lie. I love y'all, but I'll buy tickets just for Dougie Fresh himself. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you let's freak on the freaky week. Like it, baby. Responsibility. All right, sorry. All right, well, listen. Anything else, Carl, on the way out, my friend?
No, I think love hit everything.
And we have so much more in store. I will say another thing, because like the voice acting, I know that's something that's always on people's mind. We have so many. We are like blessed with projects right now. And like, don't take that for granted. We're just working hard to keep it going. But we have so many other projects that we will be talking about, that we will be looking for, other voice actors and stuff like that. So we're focusing right now on the talent search to find somebody and put them in something. But we are always looking.
Woo!
Oh man. Yo, Zaina, Jazz, we're also happy to hear that because
yes,
I do stand up. I'm a cruise ship guy. I'm trying to get off of it. These two are actors and actresses and voice and everything. And Zaina even does stunts. And Yaz
y'all
even
will
got
absolutely be hearing from me.
So if y'all wouldn't mind, when we stop,
don't even realize the more he's obsessed with you anyway. I love the videos.
This is plan. So we're gonna let y'all go. But
real quick though,
what's up, man? What's up?
Because you just said something that made me think. We should. I'm not gonna mention it now, love, but we definitely should circle back with.
I know what you just heard. Yeah, we're gonna be. Yeah,
we do have we have something in the works that we think all of you could be some way involved with. I think.
Oh, snap!
Yeah.
You
just said something that sparked that thought.
I just got goosebumps. Stop playing games with me right now. Don't play with my emotions.
And this is recorded, so this is a legally binding document right here. So we will hold you to. I'm a paraplegic. I said paraplegic. Paralegal. I mixed them up. My bad. Same difference. I don't know. Whatever. But hold on. Give us just 30 seconds or so after we actually close this up. But we have to do our tradition. This is something you've been cool enough to bless us with. This is where this came from, believe it or not.
This is Thug Magnificent telling everybody to tune in to new
play the whole thing, but we gotta get you to give us our shout out, homeboy. Like, it is a necessity. Now, last time, Love, you I ain't gonna lie, you probably don't remember. Y'all do so many interviews and all that, but you choked up a little bit. Love was like, this isn't what I don't do this. What is
This is not my wheelhouse. I'm the business mind behind everything. I just make everything.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't know, Carl, I don't know if there's another voice. I don't know if you just want to say it in Carl Jones' voice, if you want to use the voice in your head, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, give us, I don't know, maybe, you know, a different character, you know, whatever. But we got to get you to give us our love, man, and tell us thank you, or you watching New Blurred Order, whatever it is. That is our thing, man. So if you wouldn't mind, whenever you ready, I'm going to go ahead and shut up and let you do whatever it is that you do, my man.
This is Fleece Johnson, aka the Booty Warrior. And I just want the New Blurred Order to know that I likes you and I want you. And we can do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours, New Blurred Order. The choice is yours.
That is fantastic.
I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think he could top the Thugnificent joint, but he sure topped it. My butt just clenched a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It is really real. It really works. All right, man. And from us to you, wherever you are, if you've been listening, we cannot thank you enough. And you already know how you get now. Big thanks to the one and only Carl and Love Jones for giving us some of their time, guys. And man, we paid $1 million for them to be here. So I'm so glad that they fulfilled their contract. Just kidding. I wish we had that kind of money. I would say thank you so much. What'd you say?
I was just saying, Carl didn't tell me about that part.
Oh yeah. I already told Carl. It's only going to Carl's account. Also got to obviously thank the homie Bad Yaz and the homie Zaina for pulling up. And as we always say, everybody, be your authentic self. Because if you ain't being yourself, guess what? You're being fake. And there's no honor in that. And in all things, if you is a geek, whether it's an anime geek, Boondocks geek, whether it's a geek that likes to throw that ass in a circle every now and then, do what it is you do. But whatever you do, go ahead, let that good old geek flag fly.
This is Thugnificent telling everybody to tune in to New Blurred Order, my nigga. The best podcast on the planet Earth, nigga.